Okay, so we took a trip this weekend for Karen's homecoming at her alma mater, and we're driving back on the road trip right now. We are somewhere in Pennsylvania right now, and it was a good time. And we had this conversation, because road trips are they're great times for conversations. And we had this conversation about names of cities. The city that Karen and I live in right now is referred to by a lot of the locals as the Burg. They nickname it the Burg. Well, several of us who are from the northeastern U.S. Kind of laugh at that, because some of my friends and I who have spent any time in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, know that Pittsburgh is always referred to as the Burg. And so we just kind of chuckle when our current home city in the southeastern U.S. is referred to as the Burg, because to us that's not the Burg, and that will never be the Burg, because everybody knows that Pittsburgh is the Burg. Well, see, Karen kind of thought that was derogatory in a way, that we were looking down on the locals of our current city when we said that, and I insisted that we're really not, that it doesn't seem right. And she says that the locals can call their city basically anything they want, that if they want to nickname it the Burg, it's sort of their city, they can nickname it what they want to nickname it. And I understand that. But I also argue that it would be sort of like somebody calling Pittsburgh, for example, the Big Apple. Like, it wouldn't work, like, because everyone knows that New York is the Big Apple, and that nickname, it just wouldn't work elsewhere. So I suppose it's potato, but really it's kind of an interesting question, right? Like, what value do nicknames have? What value do popular nicknames have? What sort of weight do they carry? When they create those references for us, for certain places, whether we've been to or not. So tell me in the comments, what do you think? Is it okay for locals of one city to usurp the popular nickname of another city? Is it not okay? Or is it even usurping? Because not everybody knows that Pittsburgh is called the Burg, right? Like, that's what actually locals have called Pittsburgh. So in that respect, the locals have nicknamed their own city. And not only everybody knows that nickname, well, as really everybody sort of knows the Big Apple, but maybe that's just because New York is a bigger city, maybe more renowned worldwide, right? So is it even usurping one nickname for the other, or is it just a conflict of nicknames, or is it just something funny? I don't know. But what about the original Burg? Wouldn't that be like Hamburg in Germany? Wouldn't that be the original Burg? Aren't all the original Burgs sort of in Germany? Or maybe it's just a specific kind of personality that does this, because I'm sure that not everyone in Pittsburgh calls Pittsburgh the Burg, the same as not everyone in our current home city would call it the Burg. I'm sure that not everybody from California calls California Cali, right? So it's a personality thing. Maybe it has to do with film notoriety. New York has been in a lot of films, and so its nickname as the Big Apple is pretty well known. Everybody knows that Los Angeles is the city of angels. Maybe it's just that Pittsburgh hasn't been in many movies. I don't know. What about my international readers? Do you have cities in your country that well-known nicknames that maybe aren't as well-known outside of your country, or even outside of that city? Let me know in the comments. What do you think?